Hey guys, my name is Erin if you're new here, and I'm a first year PA student in my second semester. And today I thought it would be cool to do a video kicking off the new year doing my 2024 ins and outs PA school edition. So hopefully this will be helpful if you're in PA school or applying to PA school, and just some tips for schooling in general. So let's get started. Okay, so I think it would be fun to start with my outs. So my first out for 2024 in PA school is comparing yourself, or just comparison in general. I think, in school and when you're in such a stressful environment, it's really easy to kind of get on this wheel of comparing yourself to others. And it doesn't always have to be a negative thing. I think even if you're studying with friends and you kind of compare their study materials to your study materials, or their ways of studying to yours, it can just kind of build up this whole new segment of anxiety that's just not helpful for anyone. So one thing I'm going to really work on in 2024 is just not comparing myself, using my friends and my fellow classmates to kind of build and get new ideas, but not kind of going down this spiral hole of comparison or worrying about if I'm doing the right things versus them. I just want to really be secure kind of in my study methods, but also open to learning new methods from my friends. But just not letting myself get into kind of that comparison rut, because I think that can be super detrimental in PA school. Okay, my second out of PA school is imposter syndrome, and this is something that I have honestly struggled with probably my entire life. I was a competitive gymnast growing up, and then I also competed in college, and so it's really easy to kind of get in places or just get in positions that you've dreamed of and then suddenly freak out that you're not supposed to be there. And so this is something I struggled a lot with my first semester of school. I remember orientation, I literally was like, oh crap, I really scammed my way into PA school. I literally had to convince myself people don't just accidentally end up in PA school. You literally there's so many things that have to, you have to have, and so many qualities you have to get accepted into PA school. So there's literally no way I found a way to scam my way into it, but it really did feel like that. And so it really, I think, plagued a great deal of my first semester, because I just didn't feel like I was meant to be here. And so that's something that I really want to get away from in 2024, is just this idea that I'm not supposed to be here, because the reality is I am, and my entire class, we were all meant to be here. And so I really just want to get better about believing that, and just build my confidence, and just really getting away from imposter syndrome in 2024. Okay, my third out of 2024 is a little bit controversial for me, but it is flashcards. So my core study method for my entire life has been flashcards. I live and die by flashcards. And when we came into PA school, they told us that you might have to change your study methods, or this or what or that or whatever. And I was like, y'all can say what you want, but I'm not abandoning my flashcards. And so for first semester, somehow I did my flashcards all semester. It was super time consuming, but it did help because I'm someone who learns from writing. And so I have probably easily over 2,000 flashcards that I made just from last semester, and it was really helpful. It went well for me. And then this semester we're starting Clin Med and then also anatomy, and I actually attempted to do flashcards for our first block, which was derm. And I remember I was just sitting in my apartment studying, and I was I had this realization of this is just absolutely not going to work for the rest of didactics. So I'm not completely getting rid of flashcards. I'm just kind of changing the way that I do them. So I'm going to use flashcards as quick memory trick, tools, or kind of the key information. So I'm going to do each disease or diagnosis or condition, whatever. And I'm just going to put quick facts on the back of them for kind of active recall. But I'm trying to really get away from feeling the need to put my entire PowerPoint slides on the back of the flashcard, because there's just literally no time for that. So that type of flashcarding is going to have to be out for 2024. I think along with the flashcard idea, another thing that's out is just any type of time-consuming study materials. There's just no time in PA school. There's barely time to study, so you definitely don't have to do time to do anything that's super time-consuming. So any type of super time-consuming study materials are they're just not going to work. So that's also going to be out for 2024. Okay, my last out for 2024 is only studying class materials. So this is another one that can be a little bit controversial. Last semester, I really only studied what we were given in class, like as far as our lectures and PowerPoint slides. But this semester, since we're starting ClinMed, I'm starting to kind of venture out a little bit more on my study materials. So I got the textbook that they recommended, and I also bought Pants Prep Pearls and have been doing things like Rosh review questions. And so I think as I kind of go on to this next step through didactic, it's going to be important just to kind of read things in a different way, because obviously on our pants, they're not making it based off of my professor's lecture slides. So it's something I'm trying to get more into, is studying other materials, reading things different ways. So just solely relying on PowerPoints and lectures is just like not going to be it this year. I think I'm really going to try to just kind of broaden my horizons and, you know, learn my material in various different ways. I will still obviously more so rely, like the lectures will be my main source because our professors are who make our exams, but I'm also going to try to use other materials as more of like a supplemental thing. So okay, let's switch to what is in for 2024. So my first in is prepping for class beforehand. And this isn't necessarily something that I wasn't doing, but I wasn't doing it as in depth as I want to start doing it now. Last semester, my prepping was just basically like downloading the slides before, making sure I knew what topic we were doing that day. But this semester, I want to be just more intentional about how I prepare for class beforehand, so that when I'm in lecture, I just give myself more of an opportunity to really like take it in and learn, and not be trying to like catch up or figure out what the heck is going on. So one way that I've started to do that is I'm trying to get into making charts, which is like not something I usually was doing. But I'm going to try to kind of like pre-make a chart before lecture, and then as I'm in lecture, I will kind of add to it or like fill it in or something like that. I also have been getting into doing Anki cards, and I've been using this website called Memrise, which is amazing. If you're in PA school or med school, you have to check it out. So I'm able to just upload my slides into Memrise, and they fully make me an Anki deck already. So I'm like already going into the lecture with my study materials made, and then after lecture, I just kind of go back through and edit them. But that's just another way that I've been trying to just stay on top of things and really be intentional about how I'm preparing for class each day, just to give myself the best shot at having the most understanding of the material and then ultimately the most time to study. Okay, my next in for 2024 is giving myself 30 minutes a day to something not school related. So this is something that I think is really important because you know, you don't want to get burnt out when you're in a schooling like this. PA school is super intense, and it's kind of like go, go, go all the time. But ultimately, I want to still wake up with that same joy and fire for learning, and I don't think I can do that if I'm just running myself, you know, out of gas essentially. So I want to be better about giving myself at least 30 minutes a day, whether that is working out or, you know, editing vlogs or vlogging or reading or just doing something that's not school related that kind of makes me happy. And so that's something I really want to commit to. I didn't always, like sometimes last semester I would, you know, work out or whatever, but I just want to be really, really intentional about that and like make sure it's something that I do every day, because I think it's really important to prevent burnout as a PA student. Okay, my next in for 2024, which I kind of already talked about, is Anki. So I had never really heard of Anki until I got to school, and then I kind of heard what it was, and I know that it's something that's big for PA students and med students. Like I said, I was a big handwritten flashcard girl last semester. I still kind of am. So I wasn't super interested in using anything like Anki, but I did discover Memrise through a TikTok actually over Christmas break, and it's actually made it super helpful. I really love the way that they just kind of like the algorithm that they show you cards in, and kind of how they like have a plan for you, which doesn't always work because sometimes I need to see more than like the 20 set. Like it has a set of like 20 cards a day, and I wish I knew how to edit that. I don't. So if anyone knows how, please tell me. But I just like how there's like a lot of science behind how it shows you cards and how often it shows you cards, and I do genuinely feel like when I sit down and do an Anki deck, by the end of it I'm like, oh, I actually, you know, retain that, and like I don't know, I just feel like it is actually helping me learn a lot. So Anki is definitely in. Like I said, Mimriz has been my best friend because it makes my decks for me, and then I just have to go through and edit them. So then I have more time to study, which is essentially what I want to be doing. So Anki is definitely in for 2024. Okay, my last in for 2024, I also kind of touched on this, is practice questions. So last semester, I did a little bit of practice questions. The first few exams, me and my friends actually made a practice exam together, and we all kind of split up the lectures and made practice questions on them, and it was really helpful. But now that we're going into ClinMed, I think this is something that I really need to do, just because the ClinMed questions are so different than the questions we had last semester. They're not just first order, they're just more complex, and I think the more that you get to see those and work with those, the better you are. And so we had our derm exam last week, and I did some Rosh review questions, and I just really felt like it helped kind of solidify my studying, and just it was also a good checkpoint to see what I understood really well and what I didn't understand really well. So those are definitely in for 2024. If you're in PA school, there's so many resources for practice questions. I myself am still not positive what the best source is. There is like Smarty Pants, there's Rosh Review, like our school offers one that's in our like little online library thing. So there's a ton of resources. I actually have no clue what the best one is, but I would definitely recommend using one of them, because I think practice questions are really helpful. And the more you can see questions that are in the style of what the pants is going to be like, I feel like it's going to make me feel better when I'm studying for the pants and ultimately when I'm taking it. So practice questions are definitely in for 2024. Okay, so that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed just a little bit of a quick ins and outs, just kind of playing off of the little New Year's resolution trend going around this year. Like I said, I am just a first year and I'm in my second semester, so I obviously don't know everything about PA school, but these are just a couple things that I think will help me be successful and will also help, you guys if you're in PA school or med school or nursing school, or honestly just college or high school or whatever you're in. So hope you guys have a great day. If you guys have any questions, or if anyone has recommendations on good practice questions for PA school that you really like, I'd love to hear those. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next vlog.